We have a major New York Knicks injury update as Bojan Bogdanovic is out for the season, and we have to talk about this. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because Bojan Bogdanovic will be missing the rest of the playoffs as he's getting season-ending ankle surgery, and following that up, something else will be going down with him. And as you can see here, per Bruno Felkis of the basketball sphere, Bojan Bogdanovic will undergo season-ending ankle surgery. And then, as it's quoted, the Knicks small forward will also undergo not just one, but two surgeries, as after his May 1st ankle surgery, in a couple of weeks, he will get an operation done on his hand. Obviously, this is a massive blow to the New York Knicks, as Bojan Bogdanovic has been one of the best players on the Knicks bench. As long as these playoffs have been around, he's been shooting 40% from three. He's just been doing his thing, and he's helped the Knicks have one of the best benches in playoffs so far. Now, we all know the Knicks are not a team that go in too far of depth with Tom Thibodeau, but they had an 8-man rotation, and then it cut down, and now we're without Bogdanovic. So things are going to get interesting from here. I mean, when you look at the New York Knicks, you know that starting five is productive with Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, and Isaiah Hartenstein. But now Dante DiVincenzo, who's had a rough playoffs, will really need to step up because he's struggled so far to shoot the ball. The Knicks just lost one of their best shooters. And yeah, man, I mean, things definitely, that's kind of a bummer. It's something the Knicks can overcome. They have good reserves. But still, you don't want to see this happen considering the Julius Randle injury, considering Mitchell Robinson's not at full health. So definitely some concern here and there. And as you could see, upon returning to New York after undergoing an MRI, it was determined that Bogdanovic's ankle was seriously injured and that he would need surgery, which is already scheduled for Wednesday. So Bogdanovic is going to get surgery tomorrow. If you're watching this the day this video came out on April 30th. And, yeah, then he'll be out until next season, and there's no clue whether Bogdanovic is actually going to be on the Knicks next season. He has a team option. The Knicks, I would assume, are going to accept that $20 million team option so they could use it as a tradable contract if the Knicks want to make another upgrade. It's kind of been known that when the Knicks were trading Grimes and trading Fournier and doing all this, one of the things they wanted back was a tradable contract so they could make a move for a great player in the offseason, whether that's someone who's like a Mikal Bridges, who's just an excellent addition to the team, or someone, if they really want to go star hunting, like Devin Booker, who we did the video yesterday on, so you guys know and are updated on that. But Bogdanovic was more than the tradable contract. They needed shooting. They needed another bigger body, and now they lose both those things. I mean, they still have shooting on the roster, don't get me wrong, but he was a great shooter off the bench, and luckily Deuce McBride's shot has come a long ways throughout this season. He's over 40% as a shooter, which is huge. But yeah, they might have to go into their reserves, dude. Like, if you look at the team, you'd have to see why. And as Michael Escato mentioned, Bogdanovic underwent an MRI on his wrist, and he had significant ligament damage, and he was going to play through it for the rest of the playoffs. His surgery would become a potential option. But obviously now with his ankle being more screwed up, with his ankle, his wrist, they're just like, all right, he's not going to be effective. He's not going to be able to move. He's not going to be able to get himself open. It's time to shut the man down, which obviously, again, it sucks. I think the Knicks can overcome it. I don't think losing Bojan Bogdanovic means this is all hope is lost. The Knicks are screwed. They're going to blow a 3-1 lead to the 76ers. Obviously, that's not the case. But I did want Bogdanovic there. I mean, he's better than the reserves that the Knicks might have to bring in. And yeah, I mean, it should be fine. It's going to be 10 minutes out of someone new. Or maybe the Knicks go with a 7-man rotation. I don't really love that idea. It also depends a lot on Mitchell Robinson. So there's a lot that the Knicks have to look at right now. There's a lot that they have to explore. I don't really know what happens. I don't know what Tibbs is going to plan on doing, but Bogdanovic put up 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist, so it's not like it's numbers that cannot be matched by anyone. He did shoot 40% from 3, which was nice, and way just atrocious from the field, and also horrible from the free throw line. But, he hardly was shooting anything other than threes. The Knicks needed him there to shoot nothing but threes, and that's exactly what he did. But if we move on to what I was saying about the reserves, we can see Bogdanovic played 1 minute the last game. He got injured almost instantly. And then all they ran was the starting five of Brunson, Devo, Hart, OG, Hartenstein, and then Deuce McBride and Precious Achiuwa. Now, Precious played more minutes than people expected because Hartenstein got into foul trouble. Joel Embiid, and I understand that we're kind of anti-Embiid right now, and rightfully so, but Joel Embiid has done an absolutely incredible job at making Isaiah Hartenstein get into foul trouble. Now, this is not something that we've never seen from Embiid. Embiid's best ability is to draw fouls. I mean, he's the most effective scorer in the NBA, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand he's a free throw merchant. I'm not saying he's not, but at the end of the day, he's putting up points. He's the most effective scorer in the NBA. We saw Precious Achiuwa hold him to a single point in the last game in the fourth quarter. So if Mitchell Robinson's back, then that'll be helpful. I don't know if Precious will still get minutes. I assume if Tibbs wants to stick with the 8-man, and I prefer an 8-man rotation over anything else for the Knicks right now, I assume he still gives those minutes to Precious because he trusts Precious more than anyone else. But I think it's also time to accept that maybe it might be Alec Burks' season. I get that Alec Burks did not play well at all. And when Darielle and I did the post-game video after the Knicks won Game 4, I mentioned with Bogdanovic potentially being hurt, they might have to bring in Alec Burks. Now, you could tell me if you disagree, but if you think about it, for 8 to 11 minutes per game, you get Alec Burks, you stick him in the corner, and say, don't try to create your own shot. Don't do that weird floater thing. You are not the point guard. You're a spot-up shooter. Go sit in the corner. Sometimes rotate up to the wing. Be ready to catch the ball and shoot it. You know the thing that's made you a very, very respected NBA role player by every single team you've ever played for? Yeah, do only that. Don't try anything else. This isn't your team. This isn't 2021 when you put up 29 points in Game 1 of the playoffs. Sit in the corner. Rotate up to the wing when you have to with the motion of the offense. And shoot a three. Just catch and shoot. It's all we need. It's all we need. Then just work really hard on defense. We know you're not a great defender. Neither was Bogdanovic. But the Knicks should take Alec Burks and just experiment with it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if Burks has been in the playoffs before, it's not like Buddy Hield, who I think has a 17% true shooting, which is, I mean, let's face it, I could do that. And I'm bad at basketball. But I think the Knicks have to just do an Alec Burks experiment. Now, also, they can go with Precious and decide, you know what, screw it. Deuce can hit threes. Devo, you're going to shoot them, and you better start hitting them, or we're screwed. We're just going to go based off defense and have Precious and Mitch hold it down on the bench unit with Deuce, who's also an elite on-ball defender. And obviously a 40% shooter. But Devo, you're going to be out there with them. You better hit. Now, all these things are possibilities. I don't know what Tibbs is going to do. I don't know if Tibbs knows what he's going to do. They've obviously known longer than us, the Knicks, that is, that Bogey's done. They've probably known that already since Game 4. So they've had a day. Tibbs has had a day to obviously pump his gas at 6 a.m. If you guys have seen that photo. If not, go onto Twitter and look up Tom Thibodeau gas station. It's very funny. It's just looking like a regular guy. But at the end of the day, if the Knicks want to add shooting to this roster, you have two options. You play Alec Burks, and you hope that he remembers how to shoot a basketball the way that he was at the end of his time in Detroit, and, you know, all of his time in the Knicks, and the 76ers, and the Warriors, and the Kings, and the Jazz for 8 years. There was another team, and I'm blanking on it. But oh well. We need Alec Burks to do that. Or you could take the gamble on Shake Milton, but I don't see why you do that. You go with Alec Burks. 8 minutes. Spot-up shooter. Go 1 for 3 from 3. Go 2 for 3 from 3. Go 2 for 4 from 3. Good enough. We're just going to need a 3 here or there. That's all we need. I think that would be a smart move for the New York Knicks. Now, I see why people don't like it. But this also is dependent on Mitchell Robinson coming back. As Tommy Beer mentioned, now we already know that Bojan's done for the year. They did foot contusion because the Knicks don't announce their injuries. Mitchell Robinson, left ankle, is questionable. Jalen Brunson obviously is playing. He just banged the knees the other game. He came back in, did Brunson stuff. He's fine. Also, Brunson would play if his hand had fallen off or even his leg. He'd have the other one. He'd manage. But yeah, we know that Mitchell Robinson is a big question mark. So obviously, if Mitch is out too, then yeah, you got Precious, you got Deuce. You're going to need some eighth man, even if it's for 6 minutes. I think you go Alec Burks. He's the most replaceable player for Bojan Bogdanovic. I think it can work. Again, if you think I'm wrong, let me know. In general, give me your thoughts in the comments as always. I love reading them. This video is coming out right away. It's 3:36 p.m. as I wrap this thing up. It'll be up by 3:45. So, guys, make sure to tune in. Knicks, 76ers Game 5 in MSG. I'm planning on going live if the New York Knicks close it out in 5 tonight. We're going to make sure that can happen. We're going to make sure, who knows yet, we're going to have to figure that stuff out. But, guys, you don't want to miss anything, so subscribe to Knicks Digest, like this video, leave your thoughts in the comments. Have a great day, and go Knicks!